Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our time together. This is Lori Lamantia, and I'm here with the wonderful Trisha Fisk. How you
Good
doing?
morning, everybody.
Good morning. And today, in our time together, we're going to talk about declaring. Trisha and I have been doing some back and forth around getting clear about what we want to declare. And I know that sounds interesting. It sounded like part of conscious creating is that you get clear about what you're creating. And there's a quote in Conversations with God that prayer is a fervent declaration of what is so. And we were working with, well, what do we want to declare? And what does the energy feel like as it runs through your chakra system? And you get clear about what you are declaring. And I'm sure for some of you, it's kind of around what do I want to get accomplished? What do I want to create? What do I want to have happen? And as Trisha and I were preparing for today, I was asking her about what she wanted to declare. And I was kind of surprised by what she talked about. And I shouldn't have been, but it really put a whole different spin on declare. And it's something I would like for her to talk about with you and us. So I'm going to turn it over to Trisha. And I thought that poem you read was perfect. And I think it really helps kind of frame your declaration. And then I'll talk a little bit about mine.
Happy to do that. So, what I'm reading is from the book The Not Yet God by Ilia DeLeo. And there is no sky God or supernatural God. God is the ground of my life and your life. The openness of my life and your life to unitive consciousness is possible because God is the transcendence of the psyche, the endless depth of life's endless potentials, the whole of the whole.
And the everything of the everything. I'm adding that. um, and I thought,
my my me is God. So my declaration is knowing myself as God. I am that. Aham Brahmasmi in Sanskrit. I am that. That is me. I want to know that.
and I thought it was really a perfect thing for this because I do think the declaration, which is clarity, which is a felt sense, which is not just something your mind says, oh, that would be nice with. I think that we have both, and I'll speak for you a little bit. We have both over the course of this journey together, which is years and years. At the heart of our journey is always that the declaration that I will know myself, I that I am that that divinity walking. And over the course of this couple weeks, I've had some experience with my mind thinking that would be nice and me really drinking it in on a deeper level. And I'm hoping that through our conversation today, that drinking in the understanding of the unlimited that we are. I really appreciate that you said that you're not declaring, you're going to get a new Maserati, although that's totally cool. I think that the remembering who we are, because I said that when I put my notes in, step one is remembering that you are I am. That's the first step before you make any conscious creation, because your consciousness is I am, and the I am that is a natural outpouring from that. But if you start in a creation that doesn't start with the perfection of the divinity that you are, I think it's a lesser creation.
Oh, I would agree. And I think it's really important when making a declaration to feel it. feel it with your whole being, sense it. And then, in my experience, there's that beautiful moment of feeling it. And then don't be surprised if some resistance comes up, because that's part of it too. And it's one of the things we talked about before we started recording is, again, it's my belief that this connecting to myself, to the divine, is going to allow any limiting beliefs I have about that to surface. The things that I'm holding on to that are not that. And that's the beautiful opportunity to let go of those, to choose to let go of those. So it's like there's that moment of, it's so important to feel your declaration. Don't think about it. Feel it. Feel it as there, like you're holding it, you are it. And then again, don't be surprised if there's a but.
Right. Yeah, the
And
mind, right, your mind coming in and doing.
right. And that's an important piece of it too, because that's what we have the opportunity to let go of, so that I can know my declaration. I can keep feeling my declaration, and not just thinking it or having it be words, but it's actually a presence with me. And for that presence to be authentic and to stay and hang out in that space for a while, I need to be able to let go of any resistance that comes up. The resistance can throw you off a little bit sometimes. And I think the key is to not dwell on it. Again, feel it, thank it, let it go. Right.
Mhm. And for me lately, I've been adding the loving, the love part, the compassion part. I guess I would consider myself a little bit of an overachiever in that I use my mind to manage things, to make things happen. And and that's an okay thing. It totally is okay. But my mind also questions, are you doing enough? Are you being good enough? I think the level of declaration that we're talking about is with clarity and with love. That if I wished for this, life wishes for it for me also. I wouldn't wish for it, I wouldn't want it if life didn't want it for me also. And I don't know why this is really important piece for people is our minds and our lives on earth sometimes can be really hard, and we use our minds to protect us. But the idea that you could be so dearly loved that something you want is the answer is yes. And I'm sorry about this, but the way we allow ourselves to be said yes to is so important.
It is. Yesterday, I was on a Zoom call with my teacher and some students. We were just doing a Q&A for anybody studying with him right now that wanted to ask any questions. And while I was sitting here, I kept hearing a bird. And I looked out my window, and there was a blue jay on one of the chairs on my deck, looking in the window, talking to me. And it was so lovely. And I mean, the bird stayed there for like a good 5 minutes. I actually looked up what the spirit guide is of a
Uh-huh.
blue jay, and it's clarity. And that's what triggered the thought when you said it's clarity.
Right. And I think when we feel that thing that we're declaring, you declared that you're going to experience yourself as I am that. Or and you declare anything, it doesn't matter. That clarity along with the remembrance that there's love and help and support and all that beauty that is who we come, where we come from, and that is at our essence comes pouring forth also. And I think life on earth can be hard and scary sometimes, and we forget that.
Right. And there's also, I think, some determination is required. Determination that, yeah, I'm going this way and not that way. I mean, Laura, you and I have talked about this before, how sometimes when we make decisions and actually see our lives change or move in that direction of the choice we made, sometimes it almost feels like it's out of anger. Like, no, I'm in. But I
This
think
is
it's
what I want, damn it.
right. But I
Yeah,
think determination is the right word. It's just, this is this is it.
right. And sometimes you don't know what it is until you try some other stuff that wasn't it. And then you get really clear about what you do want. And I do think the journey of life is helping us get clearer and clearer.
Right. And I think the feeling piece is very important in that. I
Yes,
don't just
yes,
think I know what I want, but I feel it. Like, I don't like how this feels. This is it.
right.
And it's that determination.
I
Yeah.
have a little short story about that. So yesterday I went to this play and it was called One Day in Tucson. And it was my nephew was going to be in it and he was starring in it or he had a part in it and my sister-in-law was like, "Oh, go and see it because I can't be there." And Trisha, I got there and it was this really cute little stage. And I started reading what the story was about. And it was about, gun violence and a couple other things. And I'm like, oh no, I am not going to sit 2 rows from a stage where there's going to be some bloody nonsense. I did not, I left. And I just left. I didn't stay. I didn't stay for any of it. And I will tell him, I'm so proud of you that you did it. It wasn't for me. And I think I was supporting myself, but there's a point where inside of myself, I was like, I can't be here for this. And I was clear about that. And that clarity gave me permission to do the next thing, which was to leave. And I know that's a kind of a weird example, but I think sometimes, I think giving ourselves permission to have clarity and then act on it
Right.
felt
Right.
sense. This doesn't feel good. I don't know why, but that's okay. I don't have to know why. And the guilt about leaving, and I said I would do it, and blah blah blah. I got so over it when I saw what the story was about. I was like, I don't care. I don't care about that stuff. I'll deal with that. The fallout, whatever it is. And so I think once we do have a declaration, we have the clarity around that, it gives us a lot of freedom and permission and support and loving, s- guidance on that journey. And then
Right. And the mind doesn't spin.
no,
It's
boom.
done.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, you can yap all you want about the guilt and leaving and then bye-bye, I'm out. Yeah. And that feels so good.
It
That feels
does.
so
Yes.
good. And I do think that the declaring comes after a little bit of I'll try this, I'll try this, I'll try this, maybe yes, maybe no. But then at some point, and you can declare to get clarity. I think that's really,
Yeah.
you
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
and I was thinking about how don't be afraid to be clear that you want to make a declaration. One of the workshops I take is called Theta Healing, and originally it was I go up to the creator and I make a command or a declaration that I am healed, I am clear, I am free of whatever this is, and I return back to my unlimited, perfect self. And you make that declaration, and then you watch creator and the energies and you know that it's done, it's done, it's done. Thank you. That's the whole command. And over time, I've watched the teacher kind of back off on that and say, yeah, I know you don't want to make a command of God. And then, so make a request. Requests are limp. Declarations are that, I get this is what I'm doing. This is what I want. This is what I want to this is what I want to experience. So I think, and I keep feeling the power of declare or determination versus request. And I hope people can feel it in their body, the energy difference. And that's, I think, one of the things we were trying to get at when we picked the word declare.
Right. Because request is still kind of like there's a power out there greater than me that
Right,
has to give me permission.
right.
Declaration is I'm committed.
This
It's a
is
done
this is
deal,
it.
right?
Yeah, it's done.
Right.
It's done. It's done.
Yeah.
And and I hope it's not lost on everybody who's listening. You are a power creator, and that ability to declare is the thing that is at the cornerstone of your conscious creating. And I get learning what I want, learning what I don't want, all that stuff. But when you get to the point of declare, like I am that, I declare it, I know it, I feel it, I agree to it.
That's
It's
clarity,
that's
right?
clarity. And what I'm feeling right now for me is when I made that declaration a long time ago, what's coming in for me now is the journey towards true love, love of self, realizing that I am loved, that love is always that there's a caring and a taking care of that happens for me that I think I wasn't really, I thought, oh, when you're strong, you don't need that. Well,
Yeah, you do.
right. And no, I'm okay. You take that. No, that it's some weird resistance instead of, okay, I'll have some of that. Doesn't mean that it's not available for everybody else, but it has to be available for me too.
Yes. I think that I'm not sure any of us realize the importance of love, truly feeling loved, supported, protected, cared for. Um, because it starts to be corny or it starts to be out there too, like this out there, this sky god is
Right.
going to love me.
Yeah,
Um,
and take care. Yeah, the sky
and
god.
say it right, then I'll be okay. And yeah, there is no such thing. It comes from the self.
Right.
Yes. And an example that I would use is if you are have kids or pets, you love them unconditionally. And even when they misbehave, you still love them. It's like
Yes.
you discipline them and all that stuff, but that love that you feel never shifts. And yet somehow most of us don't seem to feel that we deserve that.
Right. And I'm learning that, part of the journey of life towards, going back to Eden, the heaven on earth experience is that we want to clear out the places inside of ourselves that would limit that love or say no to that love or, you know, um, shuns it or eschews it in whatever way. Because when you make a declaration like I am that, we are going to be shown where we won't allow the unlimited love that we are, that is
Right.
us.
But we're being shown that as a way of clearing it,
Right.
not as a finger pointing.
Right. No, right. Thank you for that.
Right.
It's just about there's so much love here, and I want us to experience it. And anything that is going to stand in the way of that, let's clear it in whatever way is the most loving and graceful is what I would request, I would declare, so that I can experience heaven on earth. I can live in this Eden that I think is totally what I came here for.
Right. And even take out the word can. I am.
Yes.
I am living
Thank you for
here.
catching that. Right,
Yeah.
right. So this was kind of a little bit of an odd way to have a conversation about the Claire, but I think it's really important that the mind doesn't grab this only. This isn't just a mind declaration. This is a mind, body, heart, energy declaration, and the energy behind it is different than the mind saying, "I want that, and I will have it." In this, what we're talking about is a full on um, whole person, whole being experience. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes. And so I'm going to share again from Ilia DeLeo's book. You are divine, as am I. You are God in the flesh, and so am I. I do not exhaust the mystery of God, but the totality of God undergirds my life. I am divine, and God is human, just as God is divine and I am human. To quote Catherine of Genoa, my me is God.
Hmm.
So,
Beautiful.
Aham Brahmasmi, I am that.
Aham Brahmasmi. Aham Brahmasmi to everyone listening. Sit with that and feel it. That is probably the biggest gift you could give yourself at any point in time, and every point in time.
Yes.
Namaste, everyone.